John, it's great to have you here today and the chance to go flying again. How many years has it been?
Just looked that up, 1988 when I did my last lesson, and I'd done about 40 hours. I'd flown solo quite a wee bit, but
right.
I decided I'd become a school teacher, and I went to Teachers College, ran out of cash, and that was the end of my
Which is quite often the case for a lot of people.
Sport.
But where did you start to get the interest in flying? Your father was in New Zealand, right?
Dad worked for Air New Zealand, so a member of this Air New Zealand Flying Club. That's the one I joined. It was slightly discounted compared to the Canterbury Flying Club, Aero Club. And I flew in a little plane painted in the Air New Zealand colours, DMG. It was a little 150 Aerobat.
Oh, right, yeah. Probably still
Aero
around.
Smart, who I think we're about to meet, took me for my first solo. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And I'd fly any chance I got.
Yeah.
And but the debt started to mount up. So
and then you got quite a lot of motivation, I think, later on from, was it Father Graham Blackburn?
Graham Blackburn, rest in peace. In fact, Graham and I went flying a couple of times, and there's an interesting story because there was a couple of guys.
But he was an instructor at Canterbury Aero Club, and
he was
highly esteemed.
He was, and then Graham. There was a couple of Mexican guys killed up near Arthur's Pass, Canterbury Aero Club, and they rang me and asked could I go and lead some prayers around at a funeral home for these two Mexican guys. And I got round there and unprepared, all these young pilots there, and because I'd flown a bit myself, I prayed with them, and one of them was Graham. And that's one of the motivations for Graham to become a priest, was that night.
Oh, wow.
And,
amazing.
So he qualified as an instructor and was doing very well, as I understand it. He left all that behind, joined the seminary, and I flew with him a few times.
But I think he was still flying on occasion back at the Aero Club, even when he was at the seminary.
And that's right, during seminary holidays.
So Father Graham died sadly in a motorcycle accident, didn't he?
Graham spent a year with me on pastoral placement. We had a good year together, and he was a beautiful man, Graham, quite quirky sort of guy, great sense of humour, loved to fly, loved everything, Graham is. And he also had a bit of a pastoral genius. He'd speak to anyone, he was great. So Graham got ordained, and then tragically, early on in his priestly life, took his motorbike out for a spin and was killed in an accident, I think on the way to Port Levy or something like that.
Yeah, over Banks Peninsula,
Terrible tragedy. I, at that time, was volunteering with Mother Teresa's sisters in Calcutta, and I had an amazing experience. I arrived in Calcutta and I went to the sisters, and Mother Teresa is buried there, and I knelt at her grave and I felt waves of grief come over me. It was amazing. I couldn't stop crying. I was a bit embarrassed. Anyway, I thought it was just the emotion of being close to Mother Teresa. The next day I got a phone call. I just finished my morning volunteering with the sisters in the house for the dying. I got this phone call from New Zealand. I heard that Graham had passed away.
Wow.
And I think it was just at the time that I was kneeling at Mother Teresa's.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sarcophagus in the house.
Wow. And then
it was an awful tragedy.
Oh, yeah, it was a great loss, and he was greatly missed. And I remember at the funeral it was packed, and along with family members, there was some of his former students were carrying the casket, and then there was a beautiful flyby over the church with the Canterbury Aero Club aircraft in formation. But
the last time Graham and I flew, we went out to Akaroa, and I was flying. Actually, he gave me a fly, which was nice. And then there was a cruise ship, and he said, give me control. And he did a couple of circuits of the cruise ship in Akaroa Harbour, wiggled his wings, and then I took over again.
Oh well, we'll head off. We probably won't go to Akaroa, but we'll have maybe head off towards Oxford, then go up over the coast, and it's a beautiful evening for it. Yes, can we just have a look at the page? That's amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure there's much to see in it really, other than the various pages of my logbook here. So that's 1987. Wow. I still had a few bits and pieces to do, and there's my first solo there with Errol, and
Wow, Errol's
Yeah.
going to be excited when he comes in and sees that you're
Wow,
here. He
yeah,
didn't know
well,
that
there
you
we
were
are.
coming. Yeah?
There we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a nice time.
Oh, wow.
So June the 9th, 1988, last.
Yeah. So
last
Errol's
night.
the president of the club, you know
Oh, I
now,
didn't know
so,
that. I
Yeah,
didn't know
and
that.
senior chief flying instructor and president of the club. So
Oh, there we are.
we'll get to meet him in a few minutes.
Fantastic.
Hopefully well.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Back in 1988.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I've not flown much since, unfortunately. I got into, I'm a Catholic priest these days.
Was that Captain John?
Fantastic, yeah, great time. I'm back at novice level, unfortunately, but I really enjoyed it.
No, I think you did very well, very well. You could tell you'd flown before, that's for sure.
Well, that's kind of
So welcome back and
Thank
to
you.
the Air New Zealand Flying Club.
I loved it. Looking forward to the next time.
Me too.